how does someone with no experience book $120,000 worth of jobs in just 6 weeks?
We actually have a 2-month waiting list.
No way. And the crazy part is, it was an UpFlip video that changed everything. Watch as he reveals the same sales strategies that have customers lining up to work with him.
If you do that, you're almost bound to make $100,000 a year the rest of your life.
Discover the trait that can determine your success and failure as an entrepreneur. And finally, answer the question we are all wondering: are franchises too good to be true?
It's the whole reason I took the franchise route. I've started a business from scratch, and now I've taken the franchise route. Here's what I would do if I could go back.
Chris, you've booked over $120,000 worth of jobs in a matter of 2 months, which is absolutely phenomenal. Before we get to your story, tell us a little bit about where we are, this job, and kind of the services we're looking at doing here.
Right, so this is a typical spray net job, right? We're redoing the windows, the aluminum siding. We're gonna make these doors look brand new, and we're gonna do a new garage door. So this is almost everything we offer. We're turning this old house into a new house, and everything we touch has a 15-year warranty.
Wow.
So we essentially bring the factory to the location. So you'll see us, we'll have catalysts and retardants and accelerators. We take dew readings, we take temperature readings, and we're a bunch of chemistry nerds.
I was gonna say, you guys are not
your
just
house.
painters, you're like
Right.
chemists.
Well, we have to bring that, that level of detail in order to offer our 15-year warranty. So we have to do it right from the beginning.
Can you give us a ballpark on what the customer's paying for all these services?
So we're gonna turn this house into a new looking house for less than $15,000.
That's
right?
it. Tell us a little bit of specifically what the guys are doing right now. If you
So
could
these guys,
break down the process
they might
a little
look like master painters, but they're actually chemistry nerds. So what they're doing,
nerds.
What's up, nerds? We're,
In a good way.
They're filtering the paint. They're gonna add a catalyst to it, an accelerator, because they've taken the temperature reading of the door, of the air, and they've done the calculation. They're gonna measure out the appropriate amount of chemicals to add to this. Everything we do is patented, right? Everything we do is proprietary. So you can't go buy our paints, and you can't learn our processes at a big box store or anywhere else other than through us. And they are trained and certified in spray net coatings.
So you're saying temperature has everything to do with putting the right coat on, and if it's off, what happens? It's going to go back in a year instead of 10 years?
Well, I jokingly say that we're not a paint company. We're a prep company that happens to paint at the end. So I'd say we're 95% prep, 5% paint.
Wow.
That's what allows us to have such a great warranty. If we do it wrong, I'm coming back to warranty it over and over. So we're not going to do that. We're going to prep right, we're going to get our chemistry right, and it allows us to take an old door and make it brand new in a day.
What initially attracted you to this industry?
Well, I've been doing real estate for many, many years, and I became very bullish on blue-collar jobs. They're the least likely to be replaced by AI. I think they're going to be very lucrative. I also respect a lot of the blue-collar workers. I like real work. I started mowing lawns in 4th grade. By 5th grade, I was making $100 a day, and
Wow.
here we are now, fast forward however many years later, with a painting franchise of all things.
Out of all the options you had, Chris, how did SprayNet come to your attention?
So I've been starting companies all my life, and I wanted to buy a franchise. And so what do when you're researching? You go to YouTube University, and I found UpFlip. And not only did I watch a video on SprayNet, but I also watched a whole bunch of UpFlip videos. Then I recentered on SprayNet, did my due diligence, and so we're here because of you. You introduced me to SprayNet.
That's
so,
awesome.
Very psyched about that.
All right, well, let's go check out the aluminum siding that they're going to be painting.
Yeah, let's see
do
the
it.
guys in action.
Yeah, let's do it. Safety first, right, Chris?
That's right.
Always. Once we all suited up here, show you guys how the siding, aluminum siding, actually gets painted. They're going to start painting here very shortly. Talk to me about really the process of painting aluminum. How long does it take, and why is it such a game changer to paint aluminum siding?
Right, well, one, there's a lot of aluminum siding out in the world. You know, where we differentiate ourselves is our proprietary coatings and our proprietary patented processes.
Interesting.
That allow it to stick, and it's a permanent solution. And it looks brand new, and it's gonna look brand new not only next year, but for many years to come. That's a game changer without a doubt.
Do you have any background in painting?
I have a little background in painting. You know, I've been remodeling houses, I've been flipping houses. I even started flipping and doing syndications on apartment buildings.
Okay.
And in fact, the first deal I ever did, I laid the carpet, I painted,
You were
brushed
the
nickel
jack of all
finishes,
trades.
you name it, I did it. Now I get to watch them do the heavy lifting.
Tell us what makes your job sites more unique from the typical painting exterior service jobs.
Yeah, first and foremost, these are all employees. We don't subcontract any of our workers, right? All our employees are background checked. They're trained in the spray net processes, in the spray net ways. Every gallon of paint we have has a barcode. We'll scan that barcode. It will remind us of the chemistry we have to do.
Why go the franchise route? Couldn't you have started all this on your own?
Well, listen,
While you're getting painted.
right. I believe in myself. You know, I'm confident, and I will say this, I'm confident I could not do this by myself, right? I have to have well-trained experts around me. These are all master painters. The processes are already in place from the franchisor. So no, I couldn't have done this myself unless I would take, I don't know, a decade to figure this out myself.
And you used an analogy.
Yeah, I bought a race car. This franchise is a race car. Now I just have to learn to drive it. We figured out how to put in the clutch. We jammed it into first gear. We whipped our head back. We're doing 90. We're ready to shift into second gear. But I don't want to be the inventor of the race car.
Gotcha.
I'm not that engineer.
You don't want to build it from scratch.
I'd rather
just
drive
ride it.
Driving, it's more fun anyway.
If you're watching Chris's story and are interested in having a spray net franchise of your own, the spray net folks are giving UpFlip viewers a very special link. We'll make sure to share that with you guys later in the episode. Well, let's get off this roof, give these guys some space, and then go take care of some doors.
Okay, perfect.
This is, by the way, one of the coolest paint booths I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is a fully ventilated, portable, inflatable spray booth. And this is my partner, Peter.
Oh, hey, Peter. Good to meet you, man. I'm Paul.
Hey, Paul. Peter, nice to meet you.
Likewise. Well, since you're here, I'm curious, what's the story? How did you guys connect?
So Peter and I met on the jiu-jitsu mat. He's my jiu-jitsu professor, which means he's a black belt, and I'm one of the lower ranking belts.
Don't mess with Peter.
And I've been training with him, and then I went to work for him at the academy he managed, and he was just an amazing manager. I saw him work in action. I saw him manage a whole bunch of people, and here we are. He's an equity partner. He and I are doing this together. I wouldn't do it without him.
That's awesome. Well, Peter, give us your backstory too. Like, why join with Chris? You guys are totally different personalities. We could see that.
Yeah.
But yet it works so beautifully, and you guys are just success. You know,
Yeah.
2-3 months into it.
For sure. Well, I think the reason it works so well is because of how different we are. If we were very similar, we'd probably butt heads a little more in the business world. I don't want a partner where I'm just fighting with all the time. Fortunately, we don't really have that dynamic. Chris is a visionary. He sees the big picture. He's planning 20 steps ahead, and I'm an operator. I like to be in the business. I like to be building and training and managing teams. So filling each other's strengths and weaknesses, they complement each other. You know, one of the guys told me 1 + 1 = 3, right? When we have a situation like this, we're really lucky that we kind of work together.
Was it an easy decision for you, or did you have to take some time to think about it?
So it was a hard decision to leave the martial arts academy that I was managing.
That's part of who you are.
Yeah, I've done that for like over 15 years, but it was an easy decision to work with Chris. He had already helped me in real estate, kind of, you know, get a rental and just get up and running as a real estate investor. And I've just done what he says, and it's worked. So I'm going to keep doing that. He knows his stuff. You know, he's been in this industry for like 20 years. So I'm grateful to get to work with him. It wouldn't have mattered if it was SprayNet, any other business. I want to work with him. That's why I'm here.
That's awesome. Give us a sense of numbers here, Chris. Revenue, margins, and how do you compare to other franchisees with SprayNet?
Sure. So remember, we're early in the game.
Yep.
We're doing a little over 70 grand a month gross. We're just under 50% margins. We hope to improve that. Not only hope, we expect to improve that. I mean, there's other franchisees that are doing 60, 70% margins.
That's awesome.
And once we're a well-oiled machine, we'll be right there with them.
Gotcha. And how many jobs is that entailed to get about $70,000 to $80,000 in revenue?
You know, that's a good question. I mean, you could get it done in, say, 4 or 5 exterior jobs, or that could be a dozen interior jobs. It just depends on the mix. So the great thing about SprayNet is everybody discloses their numbers. So we have models of greatness to aspire to, and we can just copy them.
You
right?
got an example?
There are franchisees doing $650 a month,
Whoa.
selling $650,000 worth of jobs
insane.
a month. And if they can do it, we can do it.
That's right.
If I reach out to them, they're going to help me. And in fact, we share the same coaches. We share the same systems. We share everything. They've just figured out how to take this race car, and they're in 5th gear. You know, we're still
This
in
guy's
first.
still in first. All right. Ready to switch to second.
That's
when?
right.
In 2 months, 3 months?
Hey, I'm pushing that clutch in right now.
How much did it cost you to get going, and where did you get the money? This is a big one for our audience.
Yeah, so I bought 3 territories. So you don't need to start with 3 territories.
Right.
I chose to. And I've spent $300,000 plus I have $50,000 in reserve for 3 territories. Now I used a mix of cash and lines of credit on a property, but I also looked at SBA loans, and then I also got a partner who invested as well. So, but you don't have to go this big at the beginning. You know, you can get in for, you know, 1 territory, in this case was $50,000.
Plus some vehicles.
Plus a truck,
Yeah.
a trailer, and some gear, and you're off to the races. I don't think you should let not having money get in your way.
Right.
Check out SBA loans, check out lines of credit. You can get partners, work a double shift for a few years. You know, whatever it takes. It is doable. You don't have to start big. You can start small and then scale down the road.
What's your advice to those who don't have the capital you had? And should they get into a franchise? Should they not?
My advice would start with paying off any bad debt, right? Pay off any credit cards, any student loans. Then check out SBA loans. That's specifically designed to help people start companies. And franchises, at least good franchises like SprayNet, will have an introduction to make to an SBA lender.
What is the secret to attracting so many customers so quickly?
Yeah, I've been fortunate to build a network over the last decade in real estate. So trades, real estate agents, you name it, anything surrounding real estate. So that's given us that huge launch pad to get this party started.
Wow. Well, what if I don't have those connections, those networks? Can anyone build one? Can you elaborate more on those specifics?
Yeah, absolutely. So if I started with nothing and I knew nobody, I would just be of service as much as humanly possible. What does that look like? I would try to hook everybody up with the right plumber, the right painter, real estate agents,
They're out
lenders, you name it, electricians, lawnmowers. How can you help somebody in real estate? And I promise you, if you help people enough, give it a year, 2, maybe 3 years, help as many people as you possibly can, you will make good money for the rest of your life.
Really?
Now, I don't suggest you start being of service just thinking, what is this person going to do for me?
Right.
Just be of true service, help as many people as possible in an industry that you like, and it will come back, I guarantee.
All right, so where are we going next?
I've got to take a quick call with a client, so let's go over by the trucks and give them a shout.
I can listen in?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What? It's true what they say. Running a business comes with a lot of costs. But since we've started using Rakuten to cut down on expenses, if you haven't heard of Rakuten, it's the largest cashback site out there, offering coupons, promo codes, and yes, even cash back from some of the biggest brands in the world like Lowe's, Walmart, Apple, all for free. Honestly, it's a little overwhelming. Here's how it works. Just click through the links on Rakuten or use their web browser extension, shop like you normally would, and boom, instant savings on top of the deals you were already hunting for. And with Black Friday and Cyber Monday around the corner, it is the perfect time to clean up the savings. Man, I'm in a mess. If you want to sleep soundly knowing that you're saving all that you can for your business, then click the link below and get a $30 sign-up bonus when you make your first qualifying purchase with Rakuten. All right, well, I'm excited to just hear the quick phone call that you're going to make to a client. So let's just...
Yeah, I'm going to call a customer. Let's take a brief second.
Let's see where it goes.
Here we go.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm from UpFlip.
Hello?
Hey, Matt, Chris Lawhead. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, good. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, you're on speakerphone. I'm with the famous UpFlip crew. They're big-time YouTubers. And is it cool if they listen in while I ask you just a few questions before we come out and look at your job?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, what's most important is, what do you want? What are your hopes and dreams? What's most important to you?
Well, we have this kitchen that's just looking a little dated, and my wife's been wanting to kind of update it for a while. And I would, of course, like to be able to update it without replacing all of the cabinets.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we did some research, found you guys, and looks like getting you guys out to paint might be a better solution than replacing everything. So that's what we're looking to do.
Yeah, let me guess. You've priced out new cabinets, and then you found us. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, saving money from replacing, happy wife, and upgrading your kitchen. I love it. Sounds pretty standard.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Hey, Matt, I'm going to call you back in a little bit. We'll get deeper, but thanks for taking my call real quick. I'll call you back in a bit.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
All right, thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
That was smooth.
There it is.
Smooth operator right
I mean,
there.
it's really
you
about...
went to the heart and what he cares most about. And
Yeah. what's most important to the customer is what's most important to us. And if we're in alignment, then we've got a great deal. If what's most important to them is being the absolute cheapest, then we're not in alignment. Right? So that's the number one question we ask. Every sales guy on my team asks that question. Again, we have to be in alignment with the customer, and if so, we're gonna rock and roll.
I want to go back to the phone call that you just made. How do you convert quotes to customers, or what percentage of quotes do you convert to customers as well?
We're batting about a 50% closing rate right now.
Not bad.
So when I did my initial due diligence, I estimated a 30% close rate. We're just a hint above 50% right now. We'd like to keep it that way. We're not the best fit for everybody. If they're looking for a factory finish, a permanent solution,
with warranty,
a really well done product, that's where we come in.
Hey guys, Blitz time with Chris. You ready?
Yes.
All right, let's do the first question. What is something that every homeowner should know about maintaining the exterior of their house or how it's painted?
Never paint brick. You stain brick. If you paint brick, you can actually damage it. It won't breathe. You want to stain as opposed to paint brick.
Didn't know that. All right, what's the strangest or funniest interaction you've ever had with a customer?
Well, when we were painting my house, my dog had a creative interpretation of what the siding should look like.
Yeah.
And then enjoyed a little extra color on her fur.
That's fun. If your spray net franchise had to compete in a sport against another spray net franchise, what sport are you choosing to give yourself the best chance at winning?
Oh, it's easy. It's jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Right? I met my partner on the jiu-jitsu mats. He's my jiu-jitsu professor, which means he's the black belt. I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. So yeah, if any other spray nets want to come join us on the mat, let's do it.
Come challenge. All right, if you could buy into any other franchised business, what would it be and why?
Any other franchise business, I tell you, it would have to be something a lot like SprayNet. I don't have one geared up, but it would have to have secret sauce. It would have to have patents. It would have to have, all the support and all the systems built in to make life way easier. It's got to be a fancy race car.
Makes sense. All right, be honest. What grade did you get in chemistry? How about art?
I think I probably got a C in high school chemistry and I got a B in college chemistry.
What about art?
In art, I definitely got an A.
If you could paint a house in the color that best represents your franchise, what would it be and why?
The blue, these shades of blue that are out there. The blue-gray is pretty classy, pretty classic, and modern. It's pretty amazing.
Okay. If you could franchise any other business, what would it be and why?
Could I franchise a joke business?
I think so.
I'd be down with that. We like to joke around and keep it light on the job site.
That's a wrap. So as far as pricing, is there anything else you want to highlight? The pricing aspect of it, I know it's a franchisee. Do they determine that? Do you determine that here in the Denver market?
One thing I really like about the SprayNet system is I roll in, our sales team rolls in with an iPad. Whether we roll into a $10 million house or a $100,000 condo, the cost of those cabinets, for example, will be the same. So we're not raising the price because we notice somebody's rich. We're not lowering. We don't discount our prices. We'll even come and redo your garage door for under $1,000.
Tell us a little bit about your sales tactics, the strategies that you use, and why are they so effective?
Yeah, it's simple. I listen to the client. I listen to the customer. What's important to them? Are they trying to sell their house and they need to upgrade their cabinets? Are they environmentally conscious and they have great cabinets, but they don't want to rip them out and put new ones in? They'd rather us come and recycle those cabinets, make them beautiful, and keep them out of the landfill. Maybe it's a long-term solution. Maybe they don't want painters in every few years to repaint their cabinets. And if we're in alignment and can deliver what's important to them, then we show how we can do that.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
And are you doing this most of the time, or you have trained staff that also handle the quotes?
So we have 2 sales guys right now.
Who's the better closer, you or him? I knew he'd say that. What is one biggest challenge that you faced early on starting off?
That's easy. Selling is easy. People love this product.
Itself.
It sells itself.
Almost, yeah.
It's working the crews too much, right? Everybody wants to work. Everybody's excited. They want overtime. I say, yes, I can sell. And then when you're on hour 70, hour 75, and the crew's walking around like zombies, that's not on them. That's on me. So we push the crews too hard too early, and now we've pulled it back and we're playing the long game.
Did they speak to you about that overload, or you just obviously noticed it and said, guys, we're going to scale back?
I saw the zombie factor. When they were coming in, walking around with a blank gaze, I realized we were pushing them too hard, and people are important.
Yeah, don't overwork your team members, especially starting off. So that's a good advice. So we're painting the kitchen inside there, right?
Indeed.
Let's go take a look.
All right, let's go.
All right. So this is a customer's house in the kitchen.
Yes, indeed.
You guys did a pretty phenomenal job on prepping it. Let's talk about services in general that you offer. What percentage is inside, like kitchen cabinets, etc., as opposed to outside, and which services are more profitable?
We're about 50-50, inside, outside. Now, during the
Evenly
winter
split,
months,
yeah.
obviously outside goes away. We're not painting in the middle of winter.
Yeah, we're in Denver, by the way.
Right, so in the winter months, we're exclusively in kitchens, redoing cabinets. During the summer months, we're doing about 50-50 cabinets and exteriors.
How much are you spending on marketing per month, and how is marketing different for you as a franchisee?
Yeah, so we spend about 15% of total revenue each month on marketing as a whole. Now, the difference between the franchisee and the franchisor handles all the big picture stuff, right? All the Facebook, Google, all the digital. I handle boots on the ground, business development, local meetups, B&I groups, those kind of things, and stimulating our network. So
yeah, and since you're new to the franchise, I mean, you're doing really great. The 15%, I'm guessing, is going to go down at some point, because
yeah, it should go down over time. And then SprayNet's a really fun group of people, and so we have these little competitions, right? I have a little competition with our Canadian counterparts.
How so?
Can I let these Canadian digital gurus beat me in originating deals? No way. So we have these fun
Bring it on.
competitions. That's right. Bring it on.
You mentioned why blue-collar jobs interested you to buy SprayNet, but what's their secret sauce?
Well, it goes beyond a blue-collar painting franchise, right? Their secret sauce involves a whole bunch of patents. Every coating is proprietary.
Not
right?
just like any other painting company, obviously.
That's exactly right. I mean, we are bringing a factory to their house, right? That means we've got a robust digital package in support of us as franchisees. We have a call center where people can call in and book with us that SprayNet handles. We have chemists on staff that we can call. We have AI that we can ask questions on our phone. The value proposition here is huge. So it goes on and on and on. We get to focus on what we want to do best, which is provide excellent customer service, make kitchens beautiful, make exteriors beautiful, make roofs beautiful, and increase the value and the appearance of properties.
By the way, guys, if you're hearing this and you're super interested in more details about joining the SprayNet franchise, do yourself a huge favor. Click the link below for more details. So you've started other businesses yourself, and yet you've bought into a franchise. What about the latter, buying the franchise, that surprised you the most?
Well, what surprises me the most is how much effort has gone into the patents, the chemistry, the stuff that I simply wouldn't have done. I didn't have the time. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants to a degree. I'm standing on the shoulders of 10 years of hard work.
Yeah.
And so I get a huge head start. Also, when you buy a franchise, you're hedging on your downside risk, right? You've already got proven franchisees who have done it over and over and over, so you can look directly to first practices. When you're starting a startup from nothing, you're working in the dark, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're working blind and you're iterating and you don't know if you're moving in the right direction. So it hedges against downside risk, and it lets you get a huge head start when you buy a franchise.
For sure. Yeah, by the way, all of Canada's sold out.
That's right. You cannot buy a SprayNet franchise in Canada.
So the only opportunity you have is the US.
Yep, and I'd assume at some point it's going to be the same story in the US. So I'm glad to be on, maybe not the ground floor, but second level.
Let's go check out the finished services in this house, because you guys have done a lot on the exterior as well, right? The what is it? The window frames, the garage door.
Yeah, we've done a lot.
The
The
siding.
soffit, fascia,
Oh, wow.
gutters, stained the brick, painted the vinyl siding.
And the roof as well.
We're going to do the roof later today, right in front of you.
Awesome. Let's go check it out.
Okay.
All right, so you've wrapped up the outside of this house almost. We still
Yeah.
have to do the roof.
Still got to do the roof.
Show
but-
us what you've done.
Yeah, let me show you.
Can't see the code. All right.
So, this was a typical 70s old garage door.
Wow.
We did all the soffits in the fascia and the gutters. This is a permanent solution. This is a chemical and mechanical bond. And this was, the old school 70s brick. Looked very, very dated. Now it looks amazing and modern. We painted all the vinyl windows. We also did the front door. This was a white, stock security door. And now it looks like a brand new door.
Welcome in. What is the trick to providing outstanding customer service? What does that look like in your world?
Yeah, it starts with the systems. It starts with the culture. So for example, when we do a house, we triple confirm with the customer the colors. We're offering permanent solutions here. If we don't paint their house the color they want their house painted, we're gonna have a bad day. You know, a big thing we do is over communicate, right?
Yeah,
We tell them when they're gonna be there, and then the crew shows up then. They're all in uniform. We have clean and presentable gear and trucks. We always leave the site clean. We do a walkthrough before we start painting with the client. We do a walkthrough at the end. So if there's anything they want done or any adjustments made, we're gonna make that happen. We put ourselves in their shoes. How would we like to be treated? We never leave them in the dark. We send them videos, we send them pictures, which is why we have a 2-month waiting list, and that waiting list is still growing.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not a simple answer, and you made it clear that it's a combination of many, many important things that then result in outstanding customer service.
That's right. And I could
Can't
go
just
on.
be one thing.
Exactly. I could go on and on and on, but these are built in the systems, and they're specific, they're actionable, and we document everything.
What procedures have you implemented or SprayNet implemented to ensure a high standard of work from the team members?
We've got a lot of them, a lot of systems. For example,
top 3.
Every coating that is in a bucket has a scan code, and you can scan it and you can see the temperature that it needs to apply properly, the catalyst, the retardant, the accelerator necessary in order to execute in certain environments. So that's one. We document absolutely everything. So we document everything prior to our coatings being applied and then after. And then the big one is communicating with the clients. Videos are incredibly powerful. So a typical client will get at least 2 loom videos from me. It'll be the initial loom video where I walk around the job and I articulate everything we just discussed and make sure we're on the same page. And then I love to do the after. And now you have before and after video for content creation. It's great marketing.
Nice gesture. What about like coaching, mentoring for the team members to make sure they're all on the same page, the morale is there?
Yeah.
What are some procedures in place for that?
Yeah, so SprayNet provides us a launch coach. After we launch, after the first 18 months, we transfer to a scaling coach. So these are coaches that are available not only once a week, but anytime I need them. So if I'm at a bid and there's something I don't understand, I call up my coach and I say, hey, can we paint this? Yes, no, check this. It's amazing.
Wow.
Then they also have an AI system where I can ask AI on my phone, hey, I need this detail, and it will spit it out from the huge amount of resources that are already developed for us.
That's awesome. How big is your crew today, and how do you find and retain top talent? Let's talk about that.
Okay, so far our operational crew is 6 people, 4 full-time, 2 part-time. We have 2 sales guys, me and Matt, who's our top sales guy, and then Peter and I are partners. Now, Peter and I are martial artists, we're jiu-jitsu practitioners, and we like to feed our talent pool through the Jiu-Jitsu Academy. So you'll see a lot of our employees might have a little cauliflower on their ears, they might look a little tougher. They're as nice as can be, and they're hard workers, they're disciplined, they pass background checks. So we have that constant influx of hardworking talent.
That's been the source so far.
Big time. And then we have, internal training. SprayNet sends out trainers from their headquarters. They have actual physical coaches that come to job sites, spend a week with you and your crew training them up, and they can come out a couple times a year.
Yeah, so if you're in Denver and you're hiring Chris and his team, keep in mind they've got some jiu-jitsu masters painting your house.
We won't claim mastery, but
not masters.
We got 1 black belt.
There you go. What do you think holds back most entrepreneurs from starting their businesses, and what advice would you have for those kind of feeling stuck right now?
Yeah, it's fear. People are afraid of making mistakes. And here's a newsflash. Everybody's gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make many of them, but you just gotta start making those mistakes and stumbling your way forward.
And if you don't, you're not gonna get anywhere.
You're not gonna get anywhere unless you try, I'm not smarter than anybody. I'm not taller, stronger, richer, anything. I just have a lot of try in me. And if you just try, it sounds simple. It sounds like something you tell a kid. But I think we all need to hear that, and making mistakes is all right. You're gonna make them, and you just gotta go for it.
I love that. I love what he said. I have a lot of try in me. I haven't heard that. That's used many times.
That's my secret sauce is try.
So even though you're kind of using the same recipe, what separates a successful franchisee from an unsuccessful one? What do you say to that?
I mean, it all starts with attitude, right? So if you come at this with an attitude of learning, hard work, getting busy, embracing the grind, you're gonna do well. And you gotta come at it with the ability to handle the grind and, like the Marines say, embrace the suck. We're ready for all that.
That's cool. As a serial entrepreneur, what traits and habits have allowed you to succeed in multiple businesses, multiple industries as well?
Yeah, just the ability to access that grit. right? If you try enough and you have the guts to try, it's gonna work, right? You've got to be able to fail forward, and just like anything else, you got to stick with it.
Any examples that tie to like jiu-jitsu world, which you're really well known in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're not gonna get a black belt if you're a crybaby, right? You're not going to get a black belt if when you get tapped, you quit, right? Because you're going to tap and tap and tap and get hurt and be smashed. And, you know, life's going to do that.
Same thing in
business is going to do that. But it sure is fun when you grind your way through it and you hit those milestones, you inch your way up.
Other than doing it sooner, do you have any regrets in your journey as an entrepreneur?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't live any other way. I mean, this is what I do for sport. This is my lifestyle. I like bringing people up. I like talking to guys like you. I like watching your content. I love all this. And there's a great saying, there's no failure, there's only feedback. And if you take that approach, you're gonna be all right. If you focus on your failures and you churn on them in your head, it's not gonna work. Just remember, there's no failure, only feedback.
Let's go check out what they did in the kitchen. I wanna see, because they finished up, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's not done yet, but at least the paint's over,
Well,
right?
you get a sense for what the color's gonna look like.
So what does a day in your life look like right now as a franchise owner? How is it different from, your previous days?
Yeah, so a day, I wake up, I meet with the crew and the production leader and Peter, and they're out the door, and then I go into business development mode, right?
Specifically, what is that?
We're partnering with Lowe's, for example, a big box store. I have business-to-business relationships with various contractors, countertop guys and other painters. In fact, other painters send us business that they don't want to touch.
That's good.
So I do a lot of business-to-business development. And then at the end of the day, I come back, the crew comes back, we start looking at after pictures and do some high fives and get excited, because at the end, it's really rewarding to see the end product when you own a company like this.
What's the most satisfying part of running this business?
Other than the finished product, it's the people. Now, I've been starting businesses my whole life. Now I'm a little older, got a few gray hairs, and I've been able to curate, just a few. I've been able to curate the people around me, which makes all the difference in terms of quality of life, quality of business, joy in the workplace. So I'm just much better at picking partners, picking employees, picking everyone. It's the people that make it amazing.
Knowing what you know now, do you think anybody can be successful in a business, or does it take a specific person, experience, background, etc. to succeed?
No, I mean, anybody can be successful at anything if they're willing to put in the work, right? And if you're willing to put in the work and surround yourself by the right people, take the right classes, buy the right companies, do the right homework, watch the right videos, right? Join the right groups, anybody can be successful as long as they got enough try in them and enough grit.
What are the key steps to go from, day job 9 to 5 to then becoming a business owner, entrepreneur in general?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a few things. Preparation, right? You might want a little nest egg, just a little buffer amount of cash in the bank just to be safe. You want to have done your homework already, right? I'm known as somebody who might jump out of the airplane and try to figure out how the parachute works. I don't recommend that. That's a little too much stress, especially if you're coming out of a job. And then the other one, I recommend getting rid of all bad debt. And then you've got a nice, safe position to go start your entrepreneurial journey.
Is there such a thing as growing too much too quickly? And then when you saw the unprecedented demand, what adjustments have you made to sort of either take the business on or say no at some point?
Yeah, there's absolutely challenges to coming out of the gate as fast as we have. First, we had to buy another truck. We had to scale rather quickly.
You didn't think you need to?
I didn't think we'd need to buy another truck for at least a year.
Oh, wow.
The other thing is I learned we can't work the crews too hard. Yes, everybody wants overtime and everybody's enjoying it. We're making money and houses are beautiful and you can burn them out, right? So we learned that the hard way. We had to adjust and say, okay, we're gonna take a little overtime, but we're not gonna work 70, 80 hours a week. This is a very labor intensive job. It's also a mentally intensive job. So we've had to slow it down, pump the brakes just a little, and just get into our consistent flow.
How are you gonna handle demand in the next year or two? What's your plan?
We're gonna scale, and we're gonna scale pragmatically, consistently, and dare I say, slower. It's easy to think of all these grandiose plans in your mind when you're selling as much as we've been selling, when there's this much demand for our services. We're gonna have to get okay with a waiting list that's 8 weeks long.
Who doesn't want a waiting list for business in the coming future?
That's right.
That's pretty amazing.
In fact, we've got a waiting list all the way into next year for our exterior jobs.
Wow.
And you got to get comfortable with telling customers, hey, we got to get you next year.
That speaks something about what you guys do and how you do it.
Yep,
That's pretty
absolutely.
cool. Talk to us about your leadership style. How has it evolved in the short period of time that you've been in this specific business? And what's your advice to those maybe struggling with confidence to lead a team?
Yeah, I'm big on modeling, right? And so I brought Peter in because he's a great leader. And so I've been modeling his leadership, right? And what we do is we front load a lot of goodwill. And then we discuss, what are your plans? What are your dreams? What do you want out of this? Everybody who works with us, we know what they want to get out of this. And if we're in alignment with that, then we move forward. And it's usually some version of excellence. And then if they're not meeting that standard, then we say, hey, this is what you said you wanted to do here, right? This is the standard you set and you agreed on. How can we help you achieve that? And then if no changes happen, then people generally leave. There's little need to fire people because they've figured out that they're not meeting the standards they set for themselves.
From a leadership standpoint, what basically you said is you're not necessarily leading the team. You've found a partner that's a perfect fit to then handle the team together, right?
Big time.
So if you're lacking confidence and thinking I can't lead a team, maybe that's true, right? And are you saying find a partner?
I totally agree. Listen, nobody can do everything, right? Nobody is great at everything. People have their tendencies, and I really believe in partners. So you find the right partners that complement you, not somebody who you agree with 100% of the time, or you even share skill sets. You want to find somebody to essentially make up for any parts of your game that you lack.
If the franchise route isn't for you, the UpFlip Academy has everything you need to start a business of your own. Get step-by-step blueprints from active business owners who know how to grow and thrive. Learn how to track customers, build a strong team, and how to scale your business, all from real experts. Take the first step in your business story by checking out UpFlip Academy today for free. Click the link below for more details. What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about owning specifically a franchise?
Yeah, probably that it's easy. This is not easy. This is real work.
They think you pay the franchise fee, you get everything served on a silver platter, and voila, you have business.
Right.
You think that's it?
That is not the case whatsoever.
Good.
Granted, like I said, it's a race car, but you got to learn to drive this thing. And there's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be struggles. It's just like any other startup business. It's just a little easier, I would say, than a pure startup, but it is not easy by any means.
What was the biggest hurdle for you specifically? I mean, you have a business background, so obviously it might be different for you.
I probably came in with a little arrogance, with a little hubris, and I thought, oh, it's paint. It's going to be easy, right? Well, this is fancy paint. This is chemistry. And the same problems that you'll see in flipping houses or in private equity or in lending or in anything, in any business, you're going to have it in this business. And you got to focus, you got to be disciplined, you got to be tough, and you got to make it fun, which I think it is.
Yeah, and when did ignorance for you turn into like, okay, I need to sort of change my perspective? Like, I'm just curious if there's anything we can learn from that.
Yeah, like I said, when I overbooked the crew, I sold a lot of jobs, and the crew was moving maybe a little slower than I anticipated, but this is a painstaking process, right? We prep tremendously.
You got a lab on
We
site.
take our time.
Yep.
This is a serious deal. So that's when I saw the time it was taking to finish the jobs, and then when I saw how tired the crew was after working too much overtime, that's when I said, okay, this is real. I've got to adjust, and I've got to learn.
Would you consider yourself an investor or an entrepreneur, right? Because for entrepreneurship, we're risk takers, we're creative people. That's kind of limited here when you join a franchise, I would think, or prove us wrong.
Well, I'm certainly both, right? I'm an entrepreneur and an investor. Maybe I'm a little more investor on the franchise side.
That makes sense.
There's still plenty of room for creativity within the construct that's been designed, right? I get to drive that race car however fast I want on any track I want. So, the downside risk is protected because it's a proven entity, but I have invested in this company and I'm an entrepreneur building this company.
What would you say is the most stressful part of operating a business like this, and how do you maintain work-life balance as you continue to grow and scale? I mean, you're just going into month 3 and doing so well.
Right, the most stressful part has been the sheer volume, right? And these are problems you want. I'm quite grateful for these problems. Just the sheer volume and interest in signed jobs we've gotten. It's been quite stressful.
It's amazing.
What do? We exercise, we do jujitsu, I ride dirt bikes. I still have fun, right? I still do things that allow me to focus completely on something else, which is why people love martial arts or they love dirt biking. And as long as you can get away and clear your head, then you can come back the next day ready to rock.
Awesome. How do you prioritize tasks and manage multiple projects, multiple locations. What's your advice to aspiring entrepreneurs when it comes to that?
Yeah, simply put, think mild, medium, and hot, and then you've
Mild.
got to get a priority. You got to get a priority list on some sort of project management software. So we use Basecamp. I highly recommend Basecamp. That will tell you what you need done by what day. It will pop up and give you reminders.
Everything on the phone, everything on the iPad? Or
Absolutely. It's essential on the computer, and you kind of gamify it. It feels good to cross those things off in Basecamp and see all the tasks you've done. And I tell you, break it down. The smaller the task, the better, and you just stack those little wins.
What are the sacrifices that every aspiring entrepreneur should be prepared to make in order to succeed? What's your take on that?
Just know this is not a 9 to 5. You can't leave this at the office. It's going to be in your brain when you get home, during dinner, when you sleep at night. It helps to be obsessed. This is a 24/7 kind of thing, especially when you're getting started. Now later when you scale, later when you put the right people in the right positions, yeah, you can breathe a little bit, but certainly be ready to work your butt off. That's just part of it.
It helps to be obsessed. Interesting phrase.
Absolutely, it does.
What's the secret to successful and healthy business partnership? Do conflicts arise? How do you and Peter work that out?
Absolutely. So honesty, tons of communication, being in alignment with our values, our core values, and then having fun. Like, this is fun. We do this for sport. If you're not having fun, it will not last. So of course you got to be honest. Of course you got to communicate. But people forget sometimes that this is fun, right? And what's the point if you're not having a little fun?
Yeah, simply put, that's it. This ties to closing sales a little bit, and that is, customers won't always tell you what they want, maybe because they don't know how, so it's up to you, right, to ask questions and listen.
Right.
So what's your advice to those who are brand new to this business, don't have as much experience as you do when it comes to figuring out what the customer wants and selling it to them?
2 key words, empathy and grace, right? You have to put yourself in their shoes. Are they desperately trying to sell their house and their house isn't selling and everybody's telling them their cabinets are ugly? Put yourself in their shoes and try to be of service to that human being that you're talking to. And then offer some grace. They might not know. They don't know about picking colors. They don't know about the chemistry. They don't know about the proprietary products or the patents. Help as much as you possibly can, and it will work.
Is there a seasonality to this business, and what strategies specifically are you implementing to make sure that revenues even throughout the year, basically?
Yeah, there's certainly seasonality for exteriors, but look, we're standing in our winter business, right? Now we do interior cabinet jobs throughout the entire year, and then we obviously do exteriors during the summer, and it keeps business fairly consistent. I mean, this is not a traditional painting company that has to shut down during the winter and lay all their guys off, right? Our employees are employed year-round, and this is our bread and butter in here, by the way. Yeah.
Gotcha. What about, wouldn't you shift marketing tactics when it's winter, you're not doing anything outside, or is it
You'd think so.
all handled by the franchisor, I'm guessing?
No, you'd think so, but we actually we've got a waiting list for exteriors starting next year. So our exterior jobs are sold out for this year.
Oh, wow.
And we've already booked a month worth of exteriors starting next spring.
That's amazing.
And we will be doing cabinet jobs throughout the entire winter.
How can you be sold out? Why can't you just hire more people and keep booking? Or
I mean, that's a great question. Remember, we're a prep company that happens to paint at the end. And when we're prepping exteriors, right, we can't be snowing. Because we're bringing in a factory to the house, the temperatures have to be in a certain range. And then we don't want our coatings to freeze within the first 30 days. So we're offering permanent solutions to people's houses, to people's properties. And so if we can't offer that permanent solution because of the freeze-thaw cycle, we just turn off exteriors until we know that those environmental factors will be consistent to offer that factory finish and that warranty. Therefore, we only do exteriors when it's warm.
Gotcha. I'm guessing for marketing's sake, you're marketing always inside, outside throughout the year then, right? So people know Spray Net will do
Certainly.
both.
Listen,
It's not like you turn off the faucet for outside in the winter,
Right.
turn it back on.
it's always time to show pretty pictures
Yeah.
of houses going from ugly to beautiful.
Right.
It's always time to show people their Pinterest dreams can come true for a very, very fair price. So we show that to everybody year round.
Yep.
And if we can't get to your job immediately, we'll put you on the wait list. We'll get to you, I promise.
Gotcha. What strategies and behaviors should entrepreneurs implement in their daily routine to stay focused, to stay productive?
Yeah,
things like that. What do you think?
I like to do the same thing every day. I like to get up at the same time. I eat the same breakfast. I put on the same clothes.
The boring,
Yeah,
essentially.
I eliminate a bunch of decisions, as many decisions as I can eliminate, and I try to exercise, which means I sweat. That's my definition of exercise. I sweat. When I do that, when I focus on, something to get me away from work at least an hour a day, then I can be far more effective, far more productive, far more empathetic, and a better listener for my clients, and the better the whole ship runs.
How many different products has SprayNet patented, if you know? And why do that in the first place? What's the advantage for a business to do that, if you can speak to that?
Yeah, good question. I don't know the exact number. I know there's plenty because we've got some established, we've got some patents pending,
Even pending,
and we
okay.
have processes that are patented as well.
Oh, interesting.
What I can speak to is all the products that we do, the proprietary products that you can't buy anywhere else, right? We've got the brick stain, the window paint, the roofing covering, like the liquid roof,
Yeah.
the vinyl siding, the aluminum siding, the cabinet paint. We have a stucco product that's incredible. So the list goes on. They're constantly innovating. That's one reason I chose this company. Not only the support on marketing, not only the support with design and coaching and you name it, but they're always pushing to get better. So it's a good fit
Yeah.
from the franchisor to the franchisee to the crew to the products. I mean, the list goes on. So we're excited.
We've been there. They have a whole lab of smart nerds trying
Yeah.
to figure things out and be creative and
Love it.
do the next big thing.
Yep.
So that's cool. Let's talk about tolerance for risk as an entrepreneur. How have you developed yours, and has it shifted as your career progressed?
Yeah, it's all how you look at things. I think it's riskier to have a job where somebody else controls your future. However, it's nerve-wracking, right? I won't pretend it's not nerve-wracking to be an entrepreneur. You get these little reps, and in fact, I find when you break something down into little steps, you can get these wins and start stacking the wins, and that will build confidence and then make you more risk tolerant overall. So do I suggest you go, invest $100,000 or $1 million on your first deal? Probably not. Maybe find a deal where you can invest $10,000, $20,000, maybe $50,000 to get started.
What are your book recommendations? 1 to 3, one highlight from it as well?
I love the book Endurance about Ernest Shackleton and his crew that went
Sounds
to,
really interesting.
It's amazing. They went to Antarctica, they got stuck in the ice, and the struggles that they endured will humble anybody. So if you think life's kicking your butt, grab that book, read it, see how Ernest Shackleton saved his entire crew. Spoiler alert, they all survived.
Don't give us all of them.
And the struggle they endured is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
And it will just make you feel tougher. It will remind you, how enduring the human spirit is, and it will inspire you to keep going even on those rough days.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Do you want more of the SprayNet story? Then make sure to check out episode 173 with the SprayNet founder who started this business at 23 and grew it to over $30 million a year by discovering a gap that many people fail to see. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.